Hello everyone, it's Professor Tessa. I just wanted to welcome you to week 2 of basic textiles. So again, please ignore my messy office. One day I'll get those bookcases organized, but I'd rather focus on getting your work and helping y'all out, making sure you understand everything that you have due this week and some important key topics you need to understand as you go through the material. If you go to Blackboard and you look at your week 2 folder, you'll see that you are to read chapters 2 and 3 from your textbook. So remember, and this week you're actually going to start viewing the DVD. So I'm excited for you to start watching the videos because you're going to actually get to see visually some of the topics that are covered in your text. So, for example, like what winding and warping are, which is setting up the looms and getting them ready to be woven, like all your fibers and different things. And then also differentiations between like Dobby looms, jacquard looms, and passementerie, which passementerie is a French term, but basically it's for all the extras, the cordings and fringes and bullions that you'll use as you specify materials for clients. So it's kind of a fun thing to learn about. And there's a lot of work that actually goes into creating these and colorways, and they can actually be quite expensive, so because they can add a lot of detail to your designs. So in addition to that, some of the key topics from Chapter 2 that's really important that you have a good understanding. I'm going to look down because I've got notes written just to make sure that I cover all of it. You want to really understand what a natural and a non-cellulosic fiber is and what the difference between a staple and a filament fiber is. A staple fiber is a very short fiber, and they're going to be broken up, and then they're all pushed together, and then they eventually form a sliver. I always want to say it wrong. And that is what through the process ends up getting woven and turned into fabrics. Where a filament are long fibers. So we have naturally occurring filament fibers, which the only naturally occurring one is silk. And then we have our manufactured fibers, which mimic the look of a natural filament fiber. So it'll go into detail about that. The other thing to understand is the spinneret, excuse me. And I love the spinneret because I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the best way to remember what a spinneret is, it's where the fibers are the melted dope and everything that's pushed and extruded through to create the fibers. It looks like, the only best way to describe it, it looks like a shower head. So imagine taking a shower and all that water that's being pushed through, that is the spinneret, and it creates the fibers through that. So spinneret, shower head, spinneret, shower head. That's the best way to remember that. I know it's silly, but I love to put images to terms. And so the other thing, you'll want to understand what a regenerated fiber is versus a synthetic fiber. There is a difference between the two. And then why we actually manufactured fibers to imitate silk. What was so important about replicating the look of silk. And then just trace the steps of taking cotton from the picking process and turning it into a fiber and then to a yarn. So it talks about that in your textbook. And then what's the difference between wet spinning, wet, dry, and melt spinning. So those are from the Chapter 2. Real quick, monofilament and multifilament yarns, what that is. Now from Chapter 3, some of the important ones, this is where it starts to get into the actual weaving process. So what is a warp, a weft, a shed, a shuttle, all that terminology. And the looms. So the looms make the difference in how we weave our fabrics and how they're going to appear. So this one obviously has a pattern woven into it. It's not printed. It's maybe hard for you to tell, but you can see in the background like how it looks on the back. You can see the fibers through. We got stripes, these beautiful fabrics. And then the weaving process is going to be very different because this one is woven to be a sheer so that we can see that you can actually kind of see through it. You can see all my messy stuff behind there. So this is where we're going to actually get into how we actually go about taking everything from the fiber form and actually weaving it into fabric. So what is the face of the fabric? This would be the face, it's the front, and then the back and the top and the bottom and stuff like that. So It'll explain some of that. And so just understanding the jacquard weaving process, what is a dobby loom, and so some of that will be will be explained in the video. So if you have any questions as you go along, just please always drop me an email, call me on the phone, or by all means come and see me during office hours. I hope you have a great week. Make sure you get assignment 2 submitted and that you complete discussion board 1 in addition to for the weekly tasks. Have a great week, guys.